Ladies and gentlemen, Rabbi Segal, many people out there, many of our listeners across the board have looked at today's solar eclipse. And there is a big question out there. What does it mean? Does it have any biblical significance? Does it portend something good for the future? Is it, God forbid, an omen for something bad? Tell us about it, please, Rabbi Segal.
Well, you've come to the right place because, there are just so many things, and there's so much discussion just over the last couple of weeks, and the curiosity was exacerbated by the earthquake we had just this past Friday, which was quite historic in nature.
Right, I was wondering about that too.
City.
Yeah, I felt my room rocking. Okay.
That's right. So at its very basic level, I don't think anybody needs to be a scholar to understand that, in a way, God, Hashem, is revealing His power, revealing His holiness. And that's something I think we really need to delve into, to take a look at, because, we live in a society in which the prevailing belief today, unfortunately, is that God is created in the image of man. And in fact, we know very well that it's the opposite. Man is created in the image of God.
Rabbi, it's very interesting, Rabbi, that you should say so. And you're suggesting that we are living in a society that is becoming more and more godless. And, I recently had a meeting with two friends of mine, Rabbi Gary Moskowitz and Bishop Gerald Seabrook. So the bishop happened to mention, he said, there's a problem in society that we are becoming a godless society.
Mm-hmm.
And
very true.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you're touching on that.
Very true. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So there's a couple of things. In terms of being a bad omen, that's true that the Talmud does declare a solar eclipse has the potential to be an evil sign. But it's interesting because it goes on to illustrate that point with a parable, which I think, we were once talking about fate and changing a certain bad fate. I don't know if you remember that conversation, but
I did. I do very well because it applies to me, of course. Yes.
Right. We had it on the radio, I think, a couple of months ago.
About it, yes.
Right, and so there's a wonderful parable about a king who invited guests for this lavish meal. And then the king becomes very angry with the guests, and he told his servants to take the light away so that his guests would only have to sit in the dark. And why is that? Because God is the king, and we are the guests who are sitting in the dark. In other words, that who are we? The light is with God, and it's our job to uncover that light, and we have to do that in a very delicate way. It's interesting, by the way, the timing of this is when this evening we usher in Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the new month of Nisan.
Right.
Very significant month for us on the Jewish calendar. It's the month of spring. And historically, what had happened, the Mishkan, the tabernacle, which was the very, very first sanctuary in history, was, remember, Moses was instructed at Mount Sinai to construct and transport the tabernacle with the Israelites on their journey through the wilderness. And, in fact, it was on dedicated? The 1st of Nisan.
Yeah.
Right. That 1 year shy, just shy of 1 year after the Exodus from Egypt, Moses officially inaugurates the tabernacle. And what happens? The entire tent was filled with God's presence through the symbol of a thick cloud, very thick cloud, which prevented people from entering. All right, people couldn't enter. Even Moses, greatest person who ever lived, the only person to see God, even he couldn't enter.
Moses could not? Okay.
That's right. Even he couldn't enter at that time. Because of this thick cloud that took place at the tent of the tabernacle. Mm-hmm. And it's a very interesting thing because I think we have to ask ourselves a very profound question. Through the use of modern technology and innovation, are we stepping on God's turf? Are we doing things and thinking in a certain way that may be beyond our role? That's a very important question.
As in something like cloning, or, in other words, sort of creating life, or AI, artificial intelligence.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
That's right.
Okay,
and by the way, it's a very good point because, that's one of the latest discussions in the, among all faith communities about AI. How is AI going to impact religion? How is it going to impact our relationship with God?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, that's I think, an important consideration to ponder in terms of has the human become so powerful to such an extent that we've lost sight of the one who is enabling us to perform the great things in the world?
Heaven help us if we do. We should never lose that, right? If we lose sight of that, we're in trouble because heaven isn't going to be happy.
That's right.
That's hubris to the most extreme degree.
Absolutely. So, I think these events could certainly give us moral clarity and about who's in charge of the world and our role in the world. It's something I think very important to consider.
So you're saying it serves as a reminder. These magnificent natural occurrences, because they are natural, it's part of nature, but because they are they're so rare and they happen only at very, very unique periods at certain times, very, very rarely across centuries and across time, they are reminders by God that He is controlling nature and He's controlling things, and it serves to be a reminder to us people that, and that applies to all people, the Judeo-Christian heritage, the Muslims, everybody, that there is a God out there.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you something, though, Rabbi. I want to narrow in just a little bit. And here's some people have been asking, and here's a question. I guess this is a matter of opinion. I don't know, but do you see this particular? It could be a reminder. By all means, I agree with that. But do you see this particular solar eclipse? Do you think this one is a negative omen or a positive? What do you think?
It's a very good question. I think it has the potential to be something very positive.
Okay.
If we work for it, if we work for a positive result, of course. Keep in mind the very essence. In the book of Joel, which is one of the most powerful books that we have in the Tanakh, in the Bible. And it says, before them, earth trembles, heaven shakes, sun and moon are darkened, and stars withdraw their brightness.
Wow.
And that's the eclipse, and the earth trembles, and we felt the trembling.
The earthquake happening at the same time, that just around the very, very same time as the eclipse, with a matter of days apart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just before, literally right before. And so there certainly is an opportunity for us to change our way, the way we even look at the world, the way we see the world. And so, it could have a positive result. But, there's a lack of understanding in the world. Certainly, you look at what happened after October 7th and, the way many people, especially in the media, et cetera, are reacting to that.
Yeah, changing the narrative, misreading the narrative, misinforming the people, of course.
That's right, or even morally justified.
Right.
To meet a certain narrative. So, you see from there that people have just, recreated the world. They just have made a world just topsy-turvy.
So let me see if I'm understanding you right, Rabbi, okay? You're saying because the world seems to be it is topsy-turvy. What's wrong is right, what's right is wrong, what's up is down, what's down is up. Everything is, again, topsy-turvy and completely upside down.
Right.
So you're seeing this as God's reminder to all good people out there that we can reverse this trend. He's still in control. And you see it as a positive thing, saying we can turn this world right side up again.
That's
Is
right.
that the way you're viewing it? That's the way you're viewing it.
100%. That's one way of putting it, and you're right. I mean, it's like the famous Alice in Wonderland: up is down and down is up. You know, it's 100%. So there's that component, and then there's another component that I would put it in the following way. Mm-hmm. It's also to open up our minds. And remember, this month in Nisan for the Jewish community,
Passover.
We have Passover, 100%, and Passover is the festival of freedom. And what were we freed from? What were we redeemed from? We were redeemed from Egypt. The Hebrew word for Egypt is Mitzrayim. And Mitzrayim comes from the word mitzar, a narrow place. And when we were redeemed, of course we were redeemed literally. You know, the sea split, so there was that great miracle, which we can use again, obviously. But there's also the metaphoric, the message to us, which is we all need to get out of our narrow places and start opening up our ears, opening up our eyes, and seeing things in a more objective fashion. Not just listening to whatever we hear in our little enclaves or echo chambers. You know, we have to really get out of our comfort zone, and that's why all these uncomfortable events are happening today, is to bring us out of that comfort zone and to urge us to think a little bit differently.
We have to open our minds and hearts. Rabbi, I know you're on a tight schedule. I really appreciate you coming on tonight. It's been wonderful, Rabbi, and I love the way you put things, because you've explained to us what we're supposed to look for and look at when we see a phenomena, something like what we saw today, like many have seen today, like the eclipse today. I'm very grateful for that, Rabbi. And I look forward to the next time we speak.
It's a pleasure.
Okay? Good luck on your next one. I understand you're on deck for something else now. So good luck, Rabbi. Thank you again.
I appreciate it. And wishing everyone who celebrates Chag Kasher B'Sameach a happy, healthy Passover, and especially thinking of our brethren in the land of Israel, that God should take them out of the narrow place that they're currently in and take all of us out of our dark and weak places and bring us into greater places of blessing.
Amen to that. Rabbi Solomon Segal, ladies and gentlemen. God bless. Good night. We'll talk to you soon.